used to be my student. I play political science.
Diane Lane was never supposed to be this story. For decades, Hollywood painted her as composed, graceful, almost unreachable. She carried herself like someone untouched by scandal, someone who watched passion rather than chased it. But time has a way of softening walls, and with age came honesty. At 60, Diane Lane didn't confess sins. She revealed truths. Not about recklessness, but about how desire quietly reshaped her life through 6 men who left marks she never fully erased. Richard Gere was the first to remind her that attraction doesn't announce itself, it simply arrives. On the set of Unfaithful, it wasn't dialogue that unsettled her, it was silence. Gere's presence carried a calm intensity that made restraint feel like a daily negotiation. Diane later described it as standing near something warm for too long. Nothing happened beyond the script, yet the emotional closeness lingered, unresolved, even years later when they worked together again. Some connections don't need action to leave a scar. Josh Brolin was the opposite. Where Gere was quiet, Brolin was volcanic. Their relationship didn't live between takes. It exploded into real life. What began as chemistry quickly became marriage, and passion turned volatile. Diane has never hidden that loving him felt like living inside a storm. The same intensity that drew her in eventually tore them apart. Their divorce wasn't the end of love. It was survival. Sometimes wanting someone isn't enough to keep yourself whole. Then there was Tom Cruise, long before he became untouchable. Diane saw him when ambition still outweighed control. His energy fascinated her. He was relentless, focused, almost overwhelming. She later admitted it wasn't romance, but temptation, the kind that exists in thought more than action. She chose restraint, knowing how quickly admiration could turn into something destructive under the spotlight. Kevin Costner surprised her most. There was no chaos, no chase. Just a quiet gravity that pulled her in without warning. Working together later in life, she realized attraction doesn't always shout. Sometimes it sits beside you, steady and patient, asking nothing. That scared her more than passion ever did. Emotional intimacy can feel more dangerous than physical desire. Matt Dillon represented something else entirely. First longing. They were teenagers when they met, still learning who they were. What they shared wasn't dramatic, but it was formative. First desire has a way of imprinting itself permanently. Even decades later, seeing him stirred memories of who she once was and how fragile innocence can be. Christopher Lambert was the man she married, but also the one she struggled to release. Their love was deep, consuming, and exhausting. It didn't fade, it overwhelmed. When their marriage ended, it wasn't due to a lack of feeling, but too much of it. Desire, she learned, doesn't disappear just because love fails. Diane Lane's story isn't about scandal. It's about how connection shapes us, how restraint and surrender both leave their own consequences. These men didn't define her, but they revealed parts of her she couldn't ignore. And sometimes that's the most honest story of all.